Okay, so this is the property. We need some uplights on all of these trees. On the front entrance porch. We'll first go around the whole building. Zoom out. Depending on what we do, I think this piece up here, we go with like a natural wood, tie it into the railing. We're gonna change all of the railing over here. There's a crawl space. You could get under there. We gotta jack up the patio a little bit, redo some of those boards on the front. We're gonna redo all of the railing with brand new railing over there. And we should tie that color probably into this wood up here. Up there. And then going around the building. Should measure out the windows so that we can get brand new window estimates. We gotta demolish all of those awnings, all of the exterior.
Right there. Like if it's that size and bigger, keep it. If it's cut at an angle, throw it away. But if it's squared off, okay? Because I can use those on little patch jobs. You know what I'm saying? I can use them.
So what we're doing right here, we're gonna have an extension and we're gonna build on top of this area right here. So we probably wanted to end right over here on the second floor and right over there on the second floor to line it up. So let's see over here. It lines up pretty flush right there. We'll go around. And what we're thinking is you drive up and you either come and park over here and you enter into the kitchen, which is right over there, or because we're going to extend the pantry to right here, you may be able to park just right over here and enter through here. And you go into the pantry. We're going to have to look at that. And then coming around right over here, we got to demolish this for sure. Depending on where the car is going to go, if the car goes over here, it might be worthwhile to have a covered carport. It might make sense to have a covered carport on this side. Maybe not. And then you come back over here. So we're going to want, if this is where you park, then we're going to want to have some stone steps leading into the front entrance over there. And again, that leads into the kitchen. But now let's go do a tour of the inside. A lot of siding work, pressure washing, a lot of aluminum metal work on the side. And now let's enter. So a lot of these fascia boards will have to get replaced. We should probably just tear them out. Or Dad was saying you could go on top of those. But again, we want to get under here on the back, lift this up, level it out a little bit. And we're going to replace that end and that end post with just some simple, 6x6s, because they are rotted out. And then we got to sand down all of these columns so that we could paint them, fix all of the aluminum casing over here, do some repair work on this brick. The only other option I was thinking that may not cost much, but I don't know if it makes sense, is just remove that, and that, and do stairs across the whole front leading down. I don't know. That's an option. Okay. Now you enter. We're going to keep the door. The option is if we want to swap out the door for something wider. And kind of what we're thinking about is making this similar to a mudroom. So you would need a light switch, and at the entrance you want two sconces. Two sconces and maybe two ceiling fans. One on that side, one on that side. And the switch for that would be on the inside right over here. And when you enter, you have another light switch, light on top, if we're going to keep this. So we don't know, but this basically would function as a mudroom. But regardless, we know for sure we're taking off this door, and you may just tear this whole thing down. And then you enter. I think what you really want to go for is open that up so you see the staircase, and then keep the door a little bit closed. And really, I think you want like different layers, different colors going through there. On this side, we got to remove the wallpaper in this room. We got to remove the wallpaper. You have your light up there, but we are going to remove the wallpaper. And then in this room, there's enough bend and bow that we have to see if you could replace the plaster walls or if you're going to demolish it and go over it with the drywall. So we got to figure that out. But all of the floors are going to remain, and this is going to become the family room. I don't know if I would get rid of this. It might be that you just get a new top on that and cover that, stain it, put something on the bottom. Not sure, but it's got a pretty cool light fixture above it. It's got to go, but kind of cool. On the top, you could see all of the wood paneling. So we're going to remove all of the drywall from the top, but when we do it, you have to be careful because you don't want to pull down the rest, the wood paneling that's up there. Remove that. And you can see what's behind there. I think that's called batten or something like that. We're going to want to sand this right there. So this becomes the living room. I think for now you don't worry about sanding the trim around the windows because you're most likely getting new windows. And then you come into here. We're going to open this up completely to be similar to this side. So you're going all the way from there to there and making it wide open. And the floor in here, you got to remove all of this grease, or not, it's not grease, but you got to remove that. We're going to remove the paneling because this is just cheap paneling. So we'll get rid of all of the paneling, figure out what we do with the ceiling. That light fixture's got to go. And then over here, what we're going to do is open this up. So we're going to make an opening over here to lead to the other side, and we'll see why right now. So we come into here, sand down the banister, the posts, everything right here. We're gonna remove this completely. And you have your HVAC unit right behind this heating unit. We gotta remove all of the linoleum tile and see what's under there, see if the wood is salvageable. And if it is, we're gonna keep that wood. And right now, this room is kind of challenging. So what we're gonna do is right up till about here, which is opposite, lays out right around here on this side of the wall. We're gonna tear this all open right here. And really what we're trying to do is once you turn the corner over here, this ends up becoming kitchen, dining, breakfast nook, lounge type area. And from the other room, which became the dining room, it would be an opening over here. So basically this whole area becomes prep. So you could have, now when you enter over here, you could have a massive island starting maybe right over here. Very similar to Paya's kitchen dining room setup. We'll have to figure out what goes where. But if you remember on the other side where I said you could park, you would enter through here. So you would enter into your kitchen. Tear this down over here. This is a pantry right now, but you would open that up to the other room. And then over here, you have a doorway or an opening going out there, and I'll show you why. So you come around this way. This bathroom would get completely redone. And then right over here, this is gonna be completely redone. So from the pantry, you come out this way. From that area, there's an opening. And basically that gives us a pantry, a pretty big pantry up till just say over there. And then coming out a little bit more over here, you could get your washer and dryer room. And then while we're out here right now, starting more or less over here, you have your closet and bathroom leading into your master bedroom over here. We got to figure out what we do on that side and that side. Maybe you open it up and you could put some open shelving over there. Not really sure. But basically what would end up happening over here is as you open this up, you come in this way and maybe you lead straight out. If you lead straight out and you go to your left, and on your left you have, oh, you're good. And on your left you have the pantry, a door to the pantry. Then maybe you do park on this side, because then you could just park on this side, get your groceries, drop them into the pantry, make your way into the kitchen. Or maybe there is, not a hallway over here. No, you have to have the hallway over here. Okay, so we got that. And now coming up the stairs on this wall, we're looking at 3 sconces, so you need a light switch down there. Make your way up, we're removing all of that drywall. All of the rooms is basically the same deal. On the bottom, we got to sand and redo the wainscoting. Ceiling, we're trying to save that ceiling. And you got about 7 switches and 1 light fixture in the middle and 1 for the closet potentially. On this room, we got to swap the doors. The door should open that way, not this way. Because what we're thinking is the bed would go right over here. That's what we're thinking. And that's because over here, that's gonna be a bathroom leading out 8 or 10 feet that way. So you got a bathroom over there. In this room, you would have this gets extended out as well, a bathroom and closet. And then right here, door, bathroom, and closet. We've got to figure out something for light and the windows. And again, for the existing space right here, maybe we make that, just open it up, push it back so that you have some office type space or a little nook over there. And what we're gonna do over here is you've got, this wall is completely removed. So you got 3 sconces going up that way. And then a sconce, 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 and a sconce. And we'll do the picture framing over here with some trim and some wallpaper. And so we got to figure out the lighting for those sconces. Maybe one right there, and then one right there, and one right there. So that's like a 4-way switch. And so no up top lighting. And then again, for all of the bedrooms, it's basically the same deal. We got to fix all of the wainscoting, get the walls nice, redo the ceilings in terms of sanding, straightening, nailing things in. For this one, this is the closet. That's going to remain. Over here, you got a closet. That closet's going to remain. And I guess the only question I have is, would it make sense to give this the closet over here? Basically remove the closet from the other side and give it to this room, because the other room is going to have its own closet. Same thing with that over there. Right here, we just got to get a banister leading up. And in here again, you might be able to give this closet to the other side. You'd want bathroom here, closet on that side. And maybe what you'd be able to do to keep the light is push this window straight down, closet when you turn left, bathroom when you turn right. That way your 2 bathrooms are bumping up against each other. And same thing on this side. Right there. The only thing I do wonder is if it would make more sense to have, imagine this 8 feet down and you have your bed over there in the new area. And then you would have your bathroom to the left. No, that won't make sense because you have no closet space. So again, this is going to take a little bit of work figuring this out, what we could do to make that work, if it will work. But imagine this completely opened, remove this door, break this down. So you'd have a series of sconces, wallpaper going down this way. I don't think we're thinking about any significant chandelier or anything going over there. And then right here, we've got to figure out the kitchen. That's probably the most pressing right now.